The views and opinions expressed here are not. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. Please. But I mean, the whole thing is a struggle, and now it's this whole big production to make yourself look perfect. You know, you have the perfect kid, the perfect house, the perfect
if
this,
you care
the perfect
about
that.
that stuff.
If you care about it, but at the end of the day,
give no fucks.
I mean,
Well, I think
you
I know
have
where
no
this is
fucks,
going.
but I guarantee your wife has fucks.
Well,
I
my wife grew up
guarantee.
around here. She's got roots of fucks. I did not, so I do not give a fuck.
I didn't grow up around here. I didn't grow up
I've
around
lived up here for 30 years, and I still give no fucks. My philosophy is pretty simple. Maybe because I'm a city kid, unless you're paying my bills, signing my paychecks, waking up to me every morning, or share DNA with me, I do not give a fuck. No.
Kudos to you.
Yeah,
But
it's like,
that
I
is
don't.
Not everybody
And-
in the
and-
world
and-
has that.
and anybody
has
that knows
that.
me-
It's kind of long to me.
No, I'm just saying. And anybody that knows me, they know. Pablo knows. I give.
What? What
What
happened?
happened?
What happened? Oh,
Oh, you're gonna crack him one.
Everybody knows. No.
yeah.
But
It's becoming hostile.
now-
Yo, I
don't
didn't know you
maybe
fall
I'm
in love
reading-
easy. I'm so sorry.
Take it easy.
Anyway, anyone that
No,
knows
no,
me
no,
knows
no,
that
no,
I can
order.
wait a year or two for payback. I've done that. I'm like, oh, that's how it's gonna be. All right, I'll see you in fucking 97, motherfucker. You know, and I've gotten people back like that, so I can wait.
Do your kids go to school around this area, or are they in a different area?
No, they're in a different area.
Oh,
In
okay.
Highland.
Oh, okay.
But he's still upstate. All of us.
Right,
are
right,
still-
right.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
You know.
Because your kids are up further north.
Yeah, my kids in Rhinebeck, and that's look,
For
just
the record, for anybody listening,
Yeah.
in other words, we're a bunch of city guys raising families in pretty much a
Upstate New
suburban
York.
country, but more suburban environment. So
Yeah.
it's an adjustment.
What do you mean to
Especially when
say,
our
like
sensibilities
around a
are
lot of
rooted
white
elsewhere.
people?
Pretty much, it's around a lot of white people.
Around a lot of white people.
Not even just like cookie, you know, not just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
I
have
mean,
any
where
sassy
I'm
brown
at-
neighbors I can sick on my
Where
kids. I
I'm
don't got
at,
any of
I
that.
have a lot of Hispanics.
Come to my
but,
town, man.
But the ignorance
Changing
is
over.
on us. The ignorance is definitely on the difference. It don't matter. It don't matter what color by me. I dealt with my share
Come
of
on,
ignorance
man.
from
Our
every
football team's half
colored
and
angle.
half, bro.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, your area is not.
Yeah,
you know.
my area is mixed, but
Got
it's
Vasquez,
suburban.
we got
Everybody
Johnson,
moved up to
we're all
one
right.
area, and they all decided to become assholes. So
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
These two are stuck.
Okay, this is one thing that I miss about Back to the Bodega versus Real Moms. You two are having a
Oh yeah, these two are in another.
These
These two
two
are
are.
Yeah, they're all like, and then you got to make sure it's
Yeah.
1 tablespoon of baking powder. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want that shit to explode in the oven. Meanwhile, me and Maddie are like, I'm a fucking cake and put a fucking glass in his fucking mouth right over here.
This is why we still don't have a Pirello's tour endorsement, considering
That was
that was you two.
he got lost. He lost him on that one.
Exactly. That shit
That came out of nowhere.
Mark
came out of
Pirello
nowhere.
tours.
Yeah, sponsored by Action Park. Yeah.
Action Park.
All right.
I can bring it back to what you were talking about. I was wondering if you were going in this direction because in this day and age, there is a hypersensitivity. And with that hypersensitivity, I don't know about y'all, I am more on eggshells now because you don't know what kids are going to take back to school or wherever they go.
Oh, most definitely.
And whatever you know is fine or what you were raised on doesn't necessarily jive with what other people
Most of
course.
it doesn't.
and
Most
context and perception go out the window. So then you
Yep.
got to be in mortal fear of, all right, if you literally just discipline a child, even with a smack on the hand, is that going to go back to somebody else who doesn't know the situation, doesn't know anything, but all they're going to register is that this child has been getting hit, and they register it as abuse.
It's not abuse.
And
No.
we seem to
Right.
be in more of a hypersensitive culture now.
Gotta be careful.
So while I completely co-sign with you saying like no fucks given, I don't give any fucks. But there is still because like now I'm helping to raise grandchildren. So now I got to be walking on eggshells
Whole new
with
level.
certain things because there's a hypersensitivity with other people around that. Granted, they're looking out for kids. They're looking out for the kids' best interests. But it also could be enabling bad behaviors and not learning proper social skills.
Of
and stuff like
course.
that.
But yeah, the enabling is there because so many parents are afraid to discipline, and discipline doesn't exactly mean you got to like smack the shit out of the kid. I mean, right now you got to be crafty with discipline. I'm like, oh, you're gonna be like that motherfucker? I like, all right, like watch the router instantly disappear, bitch. You know, and shit like that.
That's the
you know?
ultimate.
Like,
That's the
see
ultimate.
if you can get your ass online without internet, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, just like that's
How
what
messed
you
up
gotta
was
do.
I? I thought he was going to talk about grabbing a phone book and not leaving marks, but never mind.
Sack of oranges or something.
Talk about if you hit him with icicles, the evidence melts. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
so you can't fingerprint on puddles.
Yeah, I'm
bitch.
in a minority too because my kids do not touch my phone. That is my.
Oh no,
that's
they
the
know.
That's my only personal space, so to speak. That's mine. You don't touch that, but I will disconnect everything. I have no
Yeah,
problem doing that.
I will be petty
So I
as
don't have
fuck
to worry
and
about taking
change
the
the
phone away.
password on shit. Like I can't get on the internet. Like really? I can. YouTube, bitch. Oh shit, that's funny.
There you go.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yep.
Oh, I've lived it.
Look, it's a Minecraft video. Look, you can't
But
watch
I mean,
it.
I've lived.
You know,
I
just
think
whatever.
more so today than any other time period. I mean, we all came up in different time periods, but I think more so today, it's we can verbally fuck up our kids worse than we used to get the backhand. You know.
Oh, yeah, you can't
Yeah.
beat them anymore. So now it's like let's psychologically
Exactly,
traumatize them.
and you know
either
what?
way, you're-
I'm sorry, like
It's a
this
lose-lose,
is,
in my
this
opinion.
is this is
That's why you need to hire somebody.
Wait, time out. Did you just catch that fly?
Yeah,
I
fruit
might
fly.
have.
Yeah, she Miyagi
Okay.
that motherfucker.
Yeah, I was kidding.
You're lucky I didn't have
How have we
chopsticks.
There was a
going
fruit
to
fly
acknowledge
buzzing.
that?
There was a fruit fly buzzing around Mel's
Lord have
wine
mercy.
glass, and she just.
Yo, I'm gonna go back and watch that.
You
She
might
just-
have to.
Like, I need
You
to
might
see
have
if she
to.
really caught
I
that
missed
fly.
Miyagi.
Probably did.
You
Huh?
Kane, like
But
Kane in Kung Fu.
Exactly. But my point is that, you know, I was in a relationship, like as an adult, where this guy just beat me down on a regular basis, mentally and verbally. And I told him when I walked out, I would prefer that you had beat my ass on a regular basis. Because those physical scars heal. The mental scars fuck you up for life. So I'd rather spank my kid periodically when it's necessary than to verbally beat them down on a regular basis that you did this, you did that, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's the
so
old
I think
school-
it's the whole.
Oh, you got to
It's
pick
the
your
old
There's
school.
words.
limitations.
It's old school.
There's
Getting your ass
limitations.
whooped
Sure.
by grandmama.
Of course.
And
But you
then
can't
as soon
even
as she
do
was
the
done, she'd be
limited
like,
things
"Baby,
anymore."
it's all right. Now you know I had to do that."
Right.
Just so you don't do it again. And that's an old
I mean,
school.
I'm not saying that I beat my kid. I'm just saying that I would rather,
No,
I
but I'm
have
saying
to be
like that
very
mentality
careful.
was
Well,
back
it's
then
your
where
behavior that I
they
don't
would check
like.
you, where they would literally discipline you, but they
Right.
would let you know.
My
Like
grandmother
they
would
weren't trying to
fucking
mind
punch
fuck
me in
you.
the
They would
face.
they leave you with a handprint, but let you know, don't do this again.
Right.
I still love you. I didn't want to do that. I'm sorry, but don't do that again. Like they weren't trying to mind fuck you.
Exactly. My
They're
grandmother
trying to
would
make you
pop
flinch,
me.
but not try to make you cry in the shower.
Exactly.
I think if you come across as crazy, that helps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talk about I know, your brother
And you
annoys
start
you, but if you
twitch.
touch him, I'll fucking kill you.
yeah.
And then just stare at him for 30 seconds, don't even blink and shit. And then just,
Single tear coming down because you ain't
and
blink.
if you're lucky, you'll get like a fly that lands on your nose and you won't even move.
And it just adds to it. Yeah.
I just got an image of Sally.
Talk about his daddy all right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, just like twitch your nose and shit. And then you'd be
Having a
like,
stroke.
and then you
He's
fuck with him and
having
be
a
like,
stroke.
who wants cookies? You know, just get up and walk out. That's how you gotta do it. You gotta fuck with him. You gotta scare him, yo. You gotta scare him.
You want some Neapolitan
Though
ice cream?
that parental advice was brought to you by Back to the Bodega.
Exactly.
Exactly. Don't beat your kids, scare the shit out of them.
I mean, I know I
You
can
know.
look at Jenna and be like, the fuck are you doing? Like, in my own, just like, look at her. Like him, he's got like the sharpest tongue. Like, he will slice you up in fucking ribbons just by talking to you. And with her, he goes from 0 to 112. And he will be like, Genevieve, get out of the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, Daddy's mad at me. Meanwhile, I can
At
go
least she
batshit
cares. Mine could
crazy.
care less.
Yeah, no.
Mine don't give a
She-
shit.
Exactly.
Well,
So,
Yeah,
but
the
wait,
kids be
wait,
like,
hold
fuck
on.
you, old man.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
Do you listen to your wife though?
that says it all.
Yeah, that means on occasion.
At this point in the game, she's not really listening much to anybody.
Oh,
But-
okay.
You know,
Well, the
Yikes.
dad
God
thing,
bless.
the dad thing, I think relates. It's an old
She's a
concept
good
where
kid, but
where
she's going
kids
through something
mostly
right now.
cringe.
Yeah.
I think kids mostly cringe with their dad because the traditional household was mom is home all the time, so they get used to seeing mom.
yeah,
hearing
we'd
mom.
get threatened with that all the
Dad,
Yeah, wait till
dad
your
they
father
see-
gets home.
They see dad in a
No,
limited.
don't do
They see
that.
dad
I
in a
don't have to do that
limited
now.
space, and dad, and then when dad loses his shit, it's rare. So if you're around, so if the dad is around as much as the mother, like I know speaking for myself, I helped raise my kids in the sense like there were times where I was home, she was working, so they got used to me losing my shit. So that mystique, and I'm a big dude. If anything, they even got more desensitized because I just look like a big crazy man now. I just look like a bigger crazy man. Like it holds no water in it.
See, with me, I'm mature enough to be able to accept the fact that I'm a control freak, and like I just take it over. I don't care. Like if he's in the room, I will go batshit crazy on her, and I will just lose it. I won't allow him to interject. And I've actually made mistakes before where he is trying to discipline, and I'm like, no! And then I just overtalk him, and then he'll come over and he'll hug me goodbye, and he go, you totally just overtalked me on that. Like he'll, point it out that I completely pulled the carpet out from under him.
Well, I think a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
people
that's happened several times.
And it's just, I get to that point though, but you know
I'll
what?
just leave it at that. Yeah, it's been interesting sidebar conversation. I'm like,
Yeah, well, but see, you know what? As wives and mothers, we get used to having to hold it down when y'all are not here.
So it's more
I can't talk on your relationship, and I'm not trying to talk on your relationship.
My relationship is different because I work from home,
right?
So I'm always fucking
But
home.
So
that when Daddy comes home, like I'm here, it's like that shit don't work,
But see, like with him, he would go away and he would go to teach, and then he would go down into the city, and we wouldn't see him until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then he would get up and go to work, and we'd see him for 5 minutes. I had to lock shit down, and the control freak in me would make sure that things were taken care of. So when you're more present, I still take shit over because that's the way we do. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be involved, you be involved. But I have a tendency to overpower, and I try not to. I'm pulling back. I'm doing better, right? High five.
Well, I gotta let her handle shit because that's what the therapist says. Because when I get in, it's like it's just, and I'm a very, very patient, cool person. So if I get involved, it is not last straw. It's like 20 straws past. It's because my wife has a higher education than me, which doesn't bother me at all. But, sometimes she likes to toss that out. Like, I got a master's degree. I'm like, why don't you use that master's degree and calm down this fucking kid, So then I just kind of sit and look. So
education means...
It doesn't when it comes to, and I'm not knocking my wife, but it seems that there's like two different types of people in the world. There's the people that are super, super, super book smart, but don't have the ability to deal with people. Then you have the people who are like, oh, well, he just finished high school and he didn't do much, but he can handle shit because he can handle real world shit. You got the book smart people and then you got the street smart people. That's how it is. I am mostly street smart with, a nice dash of book smart, but I'm not a fucking nerd. But at the same time, so if I let her handle stuff, I just sit and watch, and I'm like, she never loses her cool because she's always trying to negotiate. And I got to tell her, like, look, there's sometimes where you just got to put a fucking foot down. Negotiation is not gonna work. Yeah. Okay, this isn't a merger and shit. We're not bringing on an IT department. Fucking put your foot down and handle it. And she's always like trying to talk and shit like that. Meanwhile, I'm, the way I grew up, I'm like, look, I'm the parent. I tell you what to do. You say no, shit's gonna happen. Yeah. And
do what I tell you.
I just sit and watch, and then sometimes I got popcorn. I'm just like, okay, let's see how this goes.
And that's whatever. When it goes 20 steps down the road before,
And just because I've been friends with Tanya for so long, she's a very powerful woman. Yes. Like, she is no fucking joke. And I wouldn't mess with her, So I can speak on that. But I can, as far as parenting is concerned, like, when she popped Destiny... No, it was Desiree.
No, it was Destiny.
No, Destiny.
It was Destiny.
Pop Destiny because she called me
fat. I know which one are outspoken and attitudes. That was Destiny.
Called you fat?
Oh, yeah. Destiny and I don't see eye to eye.
Oh, y'all should have just been in the
streets.
Y'all
get along now, but
we get along now.
But when she was when she was younger.
Yeah. When she was smaller.
I would have been like, Tanya, I love you, girl, but...
I didn't need to do that though because Tanya backhanded her in fucking Walmart. She's like, "Don't call my friend fat."
Right in
Walmart. That's old school.
White trash though, like, damn. That's hot.
Right? Yep. She came to my.
I've seen many a kid get walloped in Walmart.
Well, see,
If
that's
you're
the
gonna
thing.
beat your kid.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the spot.
That's
to
the
go.
spot to do it.
That's the spot
Nobody,
to go.
the cops won't even come up and be
Nope.
like,
Nope.
No,
you know that kid did some shit.
Everybody in unison turns away.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
the cops already got that method.
Meanwhile,
They
the
tried to steal
crowd is
bar
gathering
assault.
up.
We're
Meanwhile,
all
the
right.
crowd. See, that's what you should do. You should set up some shit like in the pharmacy department.
Be my fan.
Look, you set up some shit in
That's
the
it.
pharmacy department. That way, if you go there with somebody,
it.
the lines, everybody leaves a line because you know how those fucking lines are at the register. It's like
Black Friday's coming up, yo. You roll with it.
exactly. Yo, I'm telling you. Because every time I go to Walmart, I got a cart. I'm like, well, I might as well knock out this chapter.
Holidays are coming. You want to
know
beat
what
your
I'm
kids? Go to Walmart.
saying? Go to Walmart. You know,
That's it.
talk about
Beat
all
the
right.
Holidays are coming.
Beat the line.
All
Beat the lines. Beat your kids.
All right, here's the
All
deal.
for the-
Like, here's the deal. I'm gonna take the kid and strangle the kid over by the shampoo, right?
That's it.
You take this motherfucker 65-inch and get on that line when these motherfuckers leave the line because it's Walmart. They're gonna come. They're gonna fucking
Man, we
film
might
that
just-
shit.
We might figure something out here.
They're gonna film that shit. Yeah, you might have to
Friday.
bail a
Might just
motherfucker
figure
out,
something
but
out. That is it.
65-inch JVC, baby.
Oh,
That's what I'm
man.
talking
But then
about.
you get your
Get
kids
on the line.
involved to play it up.
Yeah.
Because Jenna's an actress. She'd be
yeah,
like,
she
"Oh,
fucking-
mommy!" She'd go down in the fucking hall.
She'd be like opening litter bags and shit,
Exactly.
throwing it all over the place, and be like, "That's my girl. That's my
Litter
girl.
bags all over.
Take that car to line 3, motherfucker. Come on."
Exactly.
boy
Yeah.
good.
Oscar.
Exactly.
All right. We figured it out. I think we might have just had a breakthrough in parenting.
I
Take the
think
kid to
so.
Walmart.
That
That's
is the greatest
awesome.
advertisement for Walmart ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Now this only works if you can find a parking spot at Walmart, which is a
shit.
totally different thing
You can find a
altogether.
parking spot if
You
you're
can
willing
take
to
a
walk.
motherfucking lift, okay? You don't even need a parking space. Just call
Man,
left.
taking a cab and beating your kid. That's
I mean,
really
y'all got the Fishkill Walmart. I used to live in Fishkill. The Fishkill Walmart, the aisles are big. You can like have 4 wheelchairs, have a race and shit down that shit.
Not
you
on
know?
Black Friday, because let me tell you,
The
Tanya
Kingston
and I
Walmart?
went
Are
to
you
go
kidding me?
there on Black Friday
That's a
one
nice
time.
mix of
The Kingston Walmart. You going down
urban
the aisles
trash
like this and shit.
White trash, right
Oh
there.
my
Oh,
gosh.
word. A white
Kingston
trash.
is a nice mix,
I
man.
honestly believe that hell exists, and I do believe the entrance
Walmart.
is in the Kingston Walmart.
Yes.
I don't
got
have
Any
proof.
Walmart.
That is
Not
a
just
nice
Kingston.
mix in there.
Any.
Newburgh Walmart is pretty.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I know people that live near the Newburgh Walmart, and they will travel to like, was it Nanopack, or they'll come over here.
Nanopack. Where the fuck is
Where
that?
the fuck is Nanopack?
No, go in.
Mayopack?
I can't pronounce the fuck.
Mayopack.
That sounds like an
Going
over-the-counter
over,
drug.
going over the mountain. Going over the mountain
Fairmont?
towards Ellenville.
Elvin. Now with
Elvinville.
Elvin. Fuck is Elvin?
Ellenville. I got chips in my mouth.
You mean Elvin from the Cosby Show?
Oh,
Yo, he got
man.
work.
You know, people will go out of their way.
He did get work.
No more Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. Did you know Trader Joe's is the sister store to Aldi's?
I
Did
did
you
not
know that?
I've never been to a
Did they
Trader
not
Joe's.
feud? I heard they
Well,
feud.
all of the stuff that they get from Aldi's.
I don't go to all these fancy Danbury stores.
I go to the Poughkeepsie Aldi's. It's not fancy.
I'm talking about Trader Joe's.
But Trader Joe's goes to Aldi's. All of their
surprised.
stuff goes to Aldi's. It's their sister store.
I'm surprised Aldi's doesn't sell nuts.
Where? Who?
I'm surprised Aldi's doesn't
They
sell
do.
Aldi's
I buy all
nuts?
my nuts there. All my nuts.
Don't forget to miss Pablo at his 7 p.m. no smoking show at the Haha Lounge.
I'll be here all afternoon, folks.
I got nothing.
Tip your
else.
way-
I really don't
tip-
have anything
$5
else.
drink
I feel like I've been
specials.
beaten.
It's amazing.
I've been whipped.
At the Haha.
So anything you'd like to
Dwarves not allowed.
would you like to? Wow. Wow.
Sorry, I just went there. Took that shit left.
Woo! Anything you guys would like to talk about without me,
Oh shit.
anything? Because I feel like I've
I'd like to talk about how women are. No, I'm kidding.
wow.
I didn't even finish the sentence. She's like, wow.
I don't even have. I mean, normally I ask what you think the biggest challenge of having kids is. But
The biggest challenge of having kids is trying to figure out how to get away with murder and not get caught.
yeah, that's a big one.
It's a big one.
That's a big one. I don't look good in orange, so I know that I could never hurt my kids.
It's cool with my skin tone, but I'm not trying to be that. You know, I'm not trying to make like potato logs and like ramen buffets and shit in the cell.
Potato logs and
Yes.
She don't know.
Okay. I'm white. I don't know.
What, white people can't go to jail?
I don't know.
But she don't know.
I don't
They got
know.
a nice fancy
I know what
women's
you're talking
prisons
about.
in Bedford.
I'm
and
sure
shit.
they got a nice fancy
Shit,
prison.
I've
I
never
hope
been
they
to
never
jail.
fucking
I
find
know
it.
jail things. We all got people that are in jail.
Oh, this is exhausting. I
Wow, we just perpetrated the stereotype. What up, cousin Ray Ray?
Destroyed the show.
Keep it real.
I told you this is going to be the last episode.
Seriously, I
I got
She's
something.
done.
I
got
got
nothing.
She's
This
done.
is the
She's quitting her own
hardest
show.
episode. And the thing is,
Let's shut this down. And I think Donald Trump has great ideas. No, I'm kidding. No.
Oh, boy.
Okay, you can leave now.
We're out of here.
Yo,
The color bars are coming right up.
If you saw my
Done.
Facebook, you would know otherwise. I got put in Facebook jail over some shit for the first time last year. True story, I got put in Facebook jail for 3 days. I was on an NBA page arguing about the playoffs, and somebody called me the N-word because I said Tim Duncan. I don't know. I said something about Tim Duncan, and apparently the person lives in San Antonio. I didn't appreciate it. And I said, N-word, is that the best you could come up with? They reported me, and I got put in Facebook jail for 3 days.
Nice.
fantastic.
All right.
I know. I'm like, way to go, white person. That's a win for you.
White people are awesome. No.
I had a parenting
No.
thing, but I don't know if I should even bother now.
Please bring it back around, Pablo.
Back. Bring it back.
Help
son.
me, because
I'm literally saying shit so he can laugh.
I got
I
nothing.
can't.
I want him to start crying again.
I can actually
Ever
Talk about
had to
crab
do
legs.
in
Yeah,
my
Talk about
life.
crab
we were
legs.
talking about crab legs,
Talk about crab legs.
and he was crying like he
Right.
saw
Look, I
like.
could take it way old school. Guy was looking like the Indian back in the day in that commercial with the.
Oh, man. Wine went all over the place. It's all over your wooden case there.
my man just saw the boats with the king crab legs, and he just staring out at the water with the one tear. It was great.
This dude was crying like he saw Shawshank for the first time. Like, they free. They free. They met on the beach. Friends forever. Dufresne for president, bitches. Look at me crying. He's like, crab legs.
We lost Melissa on her own show. I think
Melissa's
that's
gone.
the first.
He's like, crab legs.
He's gone.
That's it. She's gone.
Well, you know what? Welcome back.
God!
Welcome back to Real Dads. Say the F word a lot.
I don't think I
Brought to you
ever,
by
ever
Mallow
spit
Cup.
wine out. All I could see
You know
was
what's funny?
the Indian with the eye, with the tear.
You know what's funny? An hour after we're gone,
Oh my God.
he's going to turn around and be like, hey, baby, let's get some crab legs tonight.
Let's try that spot in Poughkeepsie.
Let's go back. We got to give him a second chance. Like Biggie gave her one more chance, let's give them one more
I need
chance.
you to just spin it. I need
Well,
you
okay,
to
you know
go
what? I'll throw
over.
something out. I throw something out that's probably. I mean, this is something that's actually I thought about years ago, raising my kids, and I'm curious in general, because it was something that you brought up about being the book smart versus the street smart. Like, there's always people. that
Yeah,
are
I
more
do
book-
believe that, yeah.
I believe it too. And I think one of the things in me raising my kid, like, you know, being parents, you try to obviously, going back to, you know, you try to give more to your kids. And in my case, moving out into the suburbs, moving away from projects and the city life, stuff that I was comfortable with, to an environment that even I had to adjust to. In doing that, I constantly have debated, not anymore because now they're older, so now, you know, they got to figure out shit. But even now, as they started going on the world in their own, I did start getting paranoid about how they're going to react to life, because being raised in the city, I realized that it prepared us a lot more than any schooling could prepare you for the real world.
Hell yes. Amen.
Everything you learn in school is for trades or for work purposes,
Or for
but
nothing.
living day,
Right.
but surviving and living, you know, day to day, you have to be out there.
Of course.
And I feel to a degree, and I was always concerned that raising my kids in a suburban environment, they were
doing
they
them
were
a
away from
disservice?
that they were in fact away from it. And no matter how much, and this used to be an aggravation of mine, because they would fight me on this when they hit the teen years. I would see them start doing things, and I would try to tell them, guys, it's not going to go down like that. And they would argue me. No, people, like, they would argue with me with that optimism,
Yeah.
because they don't know shit.
Right.
And unfortunately, some of my kids did have to go out into the world, and some of the things I was leery of, they had to learn the hard way.
Right.
They had to learn it the hard way as
But
adults.
you can't teach them every single thing
Oh,
that
yeah.
they need to know
I
when they
was
go
just,
out.
and my biggest concern, and I was just curious how anybody else feels about this, is being that we have all, you know, we've all tried to give our kids more. Do you feel like in doing that, you also are taking a bullet in that respect? You know what I mean?
Well, you can't protect them from everything.
Yeah, obviously.
They're going to have to learn. And I think the one major problem with kids these days is that they don't listen. You can talk until your ears fall off, or their ears fall off.
course,
Exactly.
yeah.
And they're not going to listen. Everybody has this free will, and I try to tell my kids, I'm like, look, you can make whatever fucking choices you want, but you can't choose the consequences after those choices. So if there's A and B, and you should do A and you really want to do B, can you live with what happens after B? It's trying to teach people how to think about the end game. And kids don't get that. I mean, there's still a lot of adults that don't get that shit.
Yeah.
No.
I come from a sales background. I hate fucking sales, but I was really good at it because it's all about people. But because of that, I think of everything. What's going to be the end game? I'm like, yes, I'm starting this, but this is where I want to be. How can I get there? I'm always thinking of the end game ahead because I'm not trying to get my ass burned for making decisions that I've made.
Of course.
And sometimes I make decisions, people don't like them. That's not my problem. That's your problem. I'm worrying about what's going to happen to me on the back end. You're not happy with that? That's too bad. Have a coconut smog. Fuck on my face.
Exactly. I come from, and I'm sure you're going to be super shocked, but I come from suburbia, upstate New York. I know, Will. Chill. Easy. I know.
And in other news, the sun gives off heat.
Exactly.
Elizabeth, I'm coming.
But I came from a very poor racist background. Very, very poor and racist.
But was it
And
in New York? It was upstate New York?
It was upstate New York.
Where?
Up between Binghamton and Oneonta. I had 18 people in my senior class. And they were like, don't go to Poughkeepsie. There's black people there.
The niggers will get you.
Exactly.
The niggers.
The blacks.
Exactly.
They have the blacks.
They have the blacks there. And you know what?
The blacks.
And the first time I came home and I said, hey, I am dating outside of my race. My family said, fuck you, you're not having dinner with us. So now I have to deal with that piece of my life where my family, I have racist background in my family. And knowing that I'm in a fully racial background. Like, I have this wonderful life that I have.
And Guy just sings and dances. We're happy and
But
we're
you know
singing
what?
and we're colored.
I mean,
Talk about fried chicken.
Give me a high five.
Fried chicken.
I'm sorry.
but at the end
I'm
of it,
picturing Guy being presented.
I mean,
Guys are like, at least I don't have to go to their house because that potato salad
Exactly.
got raisins.
Wow.
But I respect when he says, I don't want to go visit your family. I have to respect that.
Yeah.
Because it's uncomfortable for him, but my family has embraced him and embraced our life and embraced our child. My grandmother was a huge racist. Like, she just and when she met him, she hated him. And then by the time, I guess 2 years into our relationship, she actually was like, no, he's really nice. He's a great guy. So at the end, he became her favorite. I no longer was there. But, so I've come from diversity like that. And I don't want my child to ever be put in that position where somebody is going to judge her based on the fact that her mom is white and her dad is not. And, and I know it's going to happen. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to gracefully handle that situation. Because I don't want to have her go to a play date and be like, oh, I'm here. And she passes for Hispanic or other types of ethnicities. And then have Guy go pick her up and the parent be like, yo, what the fuck? And then have her be pulled away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that sounds weird, but that's some of my fear sometimes is that other families are not going to be that open with, multi-ethnic families. And that is another piece of the puzzle and the complexity of raising a child who is in an interracial relationship. And you may say, oh, it's so fine, we're fine, and it's a different world. It's not a different world. I mean, but I guess my point is that, we are trying to do our best in this world that's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. We can laugh about it and we can joke, but at the end of the day, shit happens all the fucking time, and we never know when it's gonna happen.
I mean, we're not going
Absolutely.
political. A lot of old fears with the
Absolutely.
current regime have been verified. Stuff that's been proclaimed, and a lot of people are like, no, got put on Front Street, and
Of
just reminding
course.
everybody we ain't that far ahead. So
Yeah, and
Go ahead. I'm
I mean, Jenna's going through this thing, we go back to the period talk and stuff like that. But here's the thing. And I've realized this the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years that, we're all parents. We're going to have, or in some cases have had, the birds and the bees talk and shit like that.
Because you're old school and shit.
It ain't over yet. I'm not breaking stereotypes. I'm a
Let's
Puerto
be real.
Rican raising my grandbaby.
We'll probably have to talk. He's probably showed videos. Who knows?
I ain't breaking no stereotypes.
He's like, why should I talk about it when you could just watch this Vanessa Del Rio? No, I'm kidding. So
I
anyway,
love Vanessa Del Rio. That's my bitch.
Oh, have
but
mercy.
getting back on, but
Google
here's
her, kids. Google her.
you guys are gonna have to deal with this because oh my gosh.
Make sure you turn off the safe search.
Shit.